experience. This is Divine Sunshine on the Divine Unisouls channel. And I have my lovely co-host here, April Williams and Kathy D. I hear myself going back.
My bad.
Yes. Am I late? All right then, yeah. So this is everybody. We're from fresh from the rabbit hole. We're outside of it. We're seeing everybody drop down, and we are seeing the queen say, "Off with the head." All right then, people. So now we're finishing out our own thing of talking about. The rabbit hole. And we got up some very, very good things from that. Excuse me, I'm right here. It looks like I'm fresh in prison. The queen did throw me in jail. So it seems like I got jail lights going on here as you see me right now. But it'll go down because no matter where I pick in this place, it's still going to be light. So, one thing, and I was talking over with my mom, and she's like, hey, did you all forget to say about when you go down the rabbit hole that you hit the bottom? And I you know what, we didn't. They say if you hit the bottom, you know what? You got to get up and you got to start all over again. And I was like, that's a good point. We did not think about that part as far as the rabbit hole, that there is there's a bottom. It's not endless. It's not bottomless. It's not a bottomless pit that you do eventually hit the end of it. So I was like, yeah, let me add that before I forget what the heck we talked about it. Oh, I see we got a special guest on the run back there. She's going.
Oh, Jessica.
Yes,
You gotta go get some water.
Yes, she's going to get some water. Yes, that's why I moved my location, but she'll still find a way to disturb me still. All right, so ladies, as usual, do we have anything else that we probably say, you know what? After taping, I thought about this and I was like, you know what? I should have said this about this rabbit hole experience. So is there anything that you all thought about, an aha moment after the fact?
I think that, the rabbit hole, we can bring up the rabbit hole. There's never really end to the number of rabbit holes because you know how rabbits be. We never talked about how rabbits. On Freaky Friday, August 14th.
Yes. Oh, that is true. Yes, they do get a little freaky.
And it's kind of like how we can, if we're going to go down the negative spiral of rabbit holes, yes, there will always be more and more and more, but it's a matter of goal setting and keeping ourselves aware of, but not consumed by, right? Because I don't know, sometimes I've seen friends spiral out. I don't like to spiral out personally. I think I've done it a couple of times, but I was talked out of it. Just always share. If you're stuck in the loop, if you're stuck in the rabbit hole, if you don't know where the bottom is, one of your friends will help smack you right out of the bottom, like a tennis ball.
Or rappel down and get you.
Yes. Oh, the rappel down. Don't do that to your girlfriends. Don't do that to your friends. Don't make them come after you.
Yes. That is true. When you do go down there, a lot of them, you're going a little too deep. You do get that good friend that will kind of like, okay, let's kind of bring it back. Where are you going? You're spiraling out. As well. And with these energies, again, we just got to be very careful. I watched two channels that have said the same thing about this overly aggressiveness. That was one. CPN Texas said because of the human residence that's going on, it will make you feel kind of either over aggressive or overly emotional because of what's actually going on. And then also, I've heard also like Bahati Life that talks about that, and other ones that are talking about the energies that are going on as well. Not giving energies, and I hear him say not as an excuse, but it also just tells you like, why do I feel a little bit out of character, out of myself too? And that is one because I even had an incident with that. Leave that alone. It's not calling me. Thank you. Excuse me. Again, an incident happened yesterday. that had made me spiral out. I say this isn't really like me because most of the time I don't share. If I spiral and I bottom out, I do it on my own. I rarely do express that when it's getting too much to me. And then I've seen even when I had went and got information about why I was spiraling out from the source, I seen I had bloated way out of proportion on my end and on some things. So that's why I say you got to kind of like really watch it. We talked about other things of forces, and that's all I'm going to call them. I'm not going to say which way they are. Playing a part that may try to detour you off of the way in which you're actually supposed to be going. And that's why you got to be very rooted and grounded as to who you are or what direction that you actually want or see yourself going at this time, because it's very prudent that you really check in with yourself to see, is this really resonate the way I'm going? Is this really truly resonating, or am I going by the illusions? We always say this all the time, the illusions. Trust your intuition, like the moon, the intuition and your awareness, but don't look for the illusions, because again, there are ways that can sidetrack you and get you off. And that's another thing that when we're talking about the rabbit hole, that's a negative way, but again, a positive way when we're talking about the rabbit hole, again, it's just like endless possibilities that's being thrown at you, that you can say, okay, I could go this way, and sometimes you let yourself just spiral until it feels like the Tasmanian devil, until you get tired of spinning, and then you're like, okay, woo, that's it. I think I know which way I want to go now. So you will find yourself when you do go those rabbit hole experiences. It's not always bad, but sometimes, you just got to really make sure that you are anchored in the way that you truly want to go when you, like mom said, you hit that bottom to things. And that's why I said again, that rabbit hole experience, it has a light and a shadow side to it. The light side to it is just let yourself spin and just see the endless possibilities in which you can go until you feel within yourself, you know what, click, that's it. Like the keys, like the heart, the queen of hearts. It really actually hits for you in your heart and in your mind. You say both of these things kind of resonate as well. So that's one way of looking at the rabbit hole. Kathy D, what's your take on it?
Well, I think one thing we've got to do, and this is going into that next stage of union, we can't let ourselves rabbit hole by ourselves. When we start feeling it, that's where we've got to reach out, because we are not one person. I mean, we are one person, but it takes all of us to work through this, because you never know who's going to say, oh, wow, I'm going through that too, or I felt that energy, or I've had that before. So we have to work as a family. We can't try to trudge through these by ourselves a lot of times.
I also want to put a little caveat on that, though. Depending on who you're listening to, and depending on who's in your circle and what you're sharing, sometimes people will put an intense, I don't have a better word for this, but they'll put a negative momentum on your trail. So they're going to slow you down in that sense, and it's okay to let that go. It's okay to kind of drop those things to the wayside. But when you feel comfortable and ready to share, like if you're just purging and you want to know how to process, great. But if you're also creating, sometimes you want to let it cultivate, but sometimes you also want to share it with the right people. You will know deep from within. If you feel it's in an insecure place that you're releasing this information, then you should really kind of hold on to it. Let yourself feel strong with it so that you have the power in a conversation about your particular subject versus giving it away to somebody else so they can control or manipulate your dreams or intentions. Was I clear on that?
Yeah.
Very clear on that. And then I'll also add on to that, a caveat to that is that you got to watch the audience. Like when they tell us when we're speaking, and they always tell us when you're taking classes in speech class, and they say, watch your audience. When you're talking and you're sharing to other people, you've got to watch your audience too of who you're talking to. Because again, if you're talking to some people that love, as we call the pity party, And here you come talk about you spiraling out. Yeah, child, girl, I'm tired of DM too. Yeah, you know what? And then before you know it, you get into that pity party. Everybody's saying the same thing, and they're spiraling you down lower. You like, I was ready to hit the bottom. Then I get to talking to you. I keep spiraling around. You keep on adding on fuel to the fire. So I would say also another thing would be to that is watch your audience. Watch who you're talking to too. Are they the ones
Mm-hmm.
that you know, like, yeah, they're gonna jump in and amen to everything you're saying? Or are they gonna say, hey, wait, say stop spinning. Wait a day gonna say, are they gonna say, yeah, let's spin together? And then all y'all
Mm-hmm.
spinning. And I'm like, I'm telling you to stop spinning and go spinning down here in this rabbit hole together. This ain't helpful to my ministry right now. That ain't what I came here for. So that's another thing for you to kind of watch as well too. Watch the audience. Right there you go. Watch you projectiling and I'm projectile. This is not gonna work. We all come out and messed up clothes in the process. So yeah, so you got to watch that. What did she say? Yeah, your body. Oh, okay. What? This is good. What she say? She said, yeah, your body will tell you the truth. How do you feel like 5 to 20 minutes later? That is true. Yeah,
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 well,
yeah. That is
And
yeah.
I want to put this out there because of like, the serious downloads that are happening, that happened in the last little bit, right? So you can feel a little bit before, you can feel a little bit after. It kind of just depends on where you're at within this Lionsgate period. But this one was nauseating, dude. This one was just crazy. Like at first it was purged out with anger and agitation. Then there was like a lot of just like nausea and then getting hit. It's like you felt like you were just like dizzy or out of time or out of space. Just kind of like you jump timelines and you're just like, wait a minute, what? This doesn't fully match up. What's going on? I feel like that's what it's been like this whole. I mean, I was just standing there, and then all of a sudden it felt like I was in water, but just my head, not my body. But my body didn't know what to do, right? Because if the head's thinking it's in water, the body's just like, ooh. And I had to catch myself on something. And I'm like, how do you lose blood pressure while you're already standing doing something? Right? Like usually you do it, lose pressure when you stand up real fast or something like that. No, it was just really intense.
Right.
well, and
Yeah.
also
No. Mm-hmm.
things can seem worse in certain times of the day. So when you're alone and say, or at night when it's dark and it's quiet, our minds have a way of kind of running away with us sometimes. So, and there's actual proven research that things can kind of get blown out of proportion at night. And that when you see it in the daylight, um, you'll notice. So if you're one of those that lay in bed and wind up going on this rabbit hole, and then the next thing you know, your rabbit hole's turned into a twister, it's suggestible. Get up, turn on a light, walk around your room. Go if you're able. If you're in an area where you can go, step outside and ground, move.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stay in that energy. Change something. And your optic nerve, the minute you turn on that light, it triggers things in your mind. And even the slightest thing like that can trigger you out of, because sometimes these rabbit holes can wind up in panic attacks. And we have to be so careful with that when we're looking at the negative. Now, when you're looking at the positive on a rabbit hole and you start going, well, you know what? I saw that. And that's what that meant. And oh my gosh, that's what that meant. Oh, then turn your light on, grab a notebook and start writing stuff down, because then you're connecting the dots
Unless
as
you're
you go
driving.
down to the rabbit hole.
I was
Unless you're what?
unless you're driving. I was kind of like not mad, but just like, okay, look, I see you sending all these messages to me via numbers, but you've just sent me like 10 to 15 different 3-number sequences now. And then some of them were coming in like reflections of each other. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous. I can't write these things down while I'm driving, but I'll make a mental note and try to hold on to something. But there was a lot of 9, 5 nines, 9, 4 nines, and I even saw one 999.
Or you could be like Benita and text them to me at the traffic lights. So, because we keep her running, her numbers talk to her. So, Yeah.
Well, I think in the future or something, I'm doing so much. I have a driver, or the other
There
person
we
is
go.
driving a lot because I feel like I have to pay attention when I'm driving.
Hmm.
Because also because people gravitate toward me too. It's really interesting. I'm like,
Oh, neat.
this is still a road. Neat, but like also like okay, hyper aware. She was saying times of day, um, type. I always want to say estrus. It's not like we're that creature, but like our cycle.
Hmm.
Different things happen at different times of the cycle. In the summertime, you know that heat, full moon. You got all kinds of really interesting. Because our community, human species, we run by certain types of mechanics, and then the astrology changes things too. So you'll
Hmm.
see a lot of flow. So if you're inclined to go down that rabbit hole, we've got plenty of websites and people to recommend for you.
Oh yes,
Number one there is our K Moon. She's the one right there. I
Hmm.
love her stuff.
yes, yes.
Love it.
I
I'm
love
And,
a tea stealer. He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
and sometimes you need to stay away from the internet when you're on the rabbit hole.
That's good.
I don't
it.
remember. It was about 6 months ago. Remember, and I got on this, and I'll tell on myself. I got on this rabbit hole trip, and I started looking stuff up, and it was about the hand tying ceremony. And I started looking up colors, and then I started looking up chords. And the next thing I know, I'm looking at stuff about crop circles. It's like what, like 4:30 in the morning, and I am texting Divine Sunshine,
It's all your
flipping out because I'm like, all over the place. But that's where it kind of it'll carry you. So you have to be mindful of the internet at times to be able to tell yourself, okay, stop. Now we're looking at crop circles. We were looking at hand tying ceremonies, and now we're in crop circles. There's something not, unless there's a connection, and there was actually a connection with that one, but
What is it? You're gonna get hand tied in a crop circle?
I guess maybe so. I
Hand
don't
tied.
know, but it was.
You're gonna jump the broom in a crop circle. That's what you're gonna do. I hear you, Cherry D. 911. Oh no. I hear you, Sherry D. I get depressed and angry at night. I learned I was living with black mold. It caused a memory problem and can influence moods for the worse. Actually, yeah, I'm in
Yes.
the transitioning away from that as well. So pray for me, y'all. I need new housing. The best of the best. My little boy.
Yeah,
And my
Sherry, I taught in a classroom that had black mold in it, and that's a wicked thing. You've got to please take care of yourself. You too, April. We'll be praying that you find a new dwelling, a castle for you.
and then it's got enough space that we can all come to visit April because you all know you want to come visit April. And you want to come
Yes.
place to be. I want to get a little spot where I can set up little tiny homes on them. So you have your own little unit, but then you can come together at the main house. You can cook or do whatever, but you got your own space if you want to. The kids can camp out in the yard. No, it's a big family affair. Oh, you want me to change it back to Freaky Friday?
No,
I'm talking about black mold. You know how quickly I will draw my eye to a freaky.
Kiki's like, forget the family. We ain't camping. Where's Freaky Friday? There's a girl.
Freaky Friday.
We missed you today.
Oh, dear.
The filter there, holding it down.
Yeah, we held it down. I miss Kiki. I guess she didn't love me.
Oh. Well, you know what? That sunlight on your face, we can't see you pout. So, so we'll have to pout for.
There we go. Woo. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking another way of how you can rabbit hole too. I'll cut into my anyway.
That's the meditation or the exercise at the end of today's show. What's that one? Grab your partner, dose to go. You know what I'm saying? We're about to get the down over here.
Another way you can rabbit hole is like you trying to get answers about what's happening with your DM, and you get reading.
Yeah. Like people. Like, no, I don't want that answer. I don't want that
reading. After reading with different psychics and different mediums. I mean, I've been there. It's like, especially when you're the first coming on this twin flame thing, you don't have no answers. You wondering, does somebody have an answer for you? And that
On
thing can get super expensive when
mhm.
you're trying to and that's a rabbit hole instead of you really until you get to that point that you do. But I tell myself, yeah, that was getting into the hundreds, trying to find hundred answers. So
Mhm.
you can rabbit hole too, trying to find answers. Yeah, I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
say it at the beginning another way. Just telling, just telling myself on that one.
Well, and when you do rabbit hole that way, then every reading is about you. You know, that whole take what relates to you and then let the rest go. At that point, everything related to you. They might not
Right,
own a cat and a canary, but by God, you knew that somewhere they had to have one. So
right. Yeah, it seemed like according to me when I was doing it, it would start off good, and then the more and more I would ask, the worse it was starting to get. It was starting to spiral out like they're doing da da da. Now that it was good, and then before you know it, it became a nightmare. By the 20th call with the 20th psychic, it was like, okay, we're spiraling out the opposite way. This is not the way I want to actually go with this reading. I think I better stop. So I'm rabbit holing that way too. I was that. I hope that there is less rabbit holing as what I'm seeing this. I
as
hope
her
that
brain
there's less.
recovers,
Yes, yes.
there will
Well,
be.
let's act the Jedi master. Uh, we'll
As you heal from the black mold and things and the effects on that, there'll be less rabbit holing, but also take that opportunity to journal, to or not even journal. I mean, write down some of these thoughts and then let them go.
hmm,
There's some easy ways to supplement for the brain and brain development. Uh, there's some new materials and stuff coming out. So even just doing a little bit of coconut oil every day, the MCT oil is a coconut oil extract. It's kind of made very concentrate, but it helps heal the brain and neurological pathways. You want to eat for your health. So I always suggest eating a rainbow every day. That means in colors of food. Try to stick with low saturated and all that stuff. Realize when you're dipping into your comfort space and just eating this beautiful food allows you to enter into a different type of sensuality, right? Because when you're picking what's going to go inside of your temple, you start to honor you in a new way, and I think it's going to be super healthy for you. And it's beautiful. It's unfortunate that you had to go through this process, but it's beautiful how you are blooming from the other side. So congratulations on getting yourself together and just doing that work. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Sherry D, for
yes,
sharing.
yes, yes. Thank you for sharing. I didn't even know how bad and detrimental that the black mold can be. Actually, oh, there she's back.
Well, see, there's a lot of mold. There's a lot of molds here in the islands, depending on what island you're on and which house you're in, and because there's such high humidity. So it's all
That's
not.
us too.
It's not necessarily that kind of black mold because I was doing the research for my mom's property when she bought a space in Indiana.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what's this? And what's that? What's this? And it's like, not all black molds are that kind of black mold. Like, but having mold around in too much of a concentration isn't really great for your lungs anyway. So,
Okay.
or the processes in your body. So, as we have the opportunity to detox and do all this sort of good stuff, excellent, excellent work. Oh, let's hear. Let's hear. She's addicted. Jupiter 1111 is addicted
This is
to
addicted.
veggies and
Addicted to eating my veggies and fruits every day. It takes a few weeks of consistency to change your palate. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, to change. Yeah, to change your mind. You got to be
That's it.
consistent.
Oh
What we
yes,
got there?
lay every day. I love that. I love that so much.
I was
Lay every.
literally watching Goddess Corner when you explained the difference between sensuality and sexuality, and I said to myself, eating this watermelon is sensual.
Yes, it is. Just the idea of chew. Man, I'm so hot right now. I'm like, ooh, a nice cold piece of watermelon melting away.
Yes.
Give me
What's
that
that? We
sweet
got.
from the inside and out.
Oh,
Well,
oh
just
Lord, I got.
Benita was just saying, kind of letting Sherry know that, her mom's house was like that, and a house that they had stayed in, and she'd gotten really sick from the mold as well twice. And some of people are just allergic to mold, any mold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that really dangerous black mold. It can be, and it can mess with your respiratory systems and everything. So, oh yeah. The moving crew got sick in hours, and I lived with it for years. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hon, you are a superpower. Let me tell you what.
Well, it's just gonna be like you might be sensitive now just from the years of exposure, but you're clearly stronger than it for you to last that long and then not last that long. But then
Mm-hmm.
there's also that when you're aware of something, like you can also over exacerbate it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my back hurt. I remember once my back was hurting, but I didn't seem to notice I was pushing through the work until my father, my ex-husband's dad, was like, "Oh, my back hurts a little bit from doing this bend," and I was like, "You're right, my back hurts." And then I kept saying it over and over again until it just became worse and worse and worse. So but you did. But good on you. You're moving out though. You're moving out. So health. My favorite ice cold strawberries and pineapples. Ooh, that
Oh,
sounds.
yeah.
Ooh, and ringworm. Jeez,
Yeah, my favorite
I don't like ringworm with my strawberries and pineapple, though. I kind of draw the line there.
down the rabbit hole. I'm like, I don't even know. This is like a ping. This is like a tennis court of a rabbit hole right now.
rabbit. We talk about fruits and mold. Fruits and
Fruits and
mold and rabbit.
fungus. Fruits and fungus.
Fruits and fungus and rabbit hole. Oh my! All together. All
Well, and
that
I think,
together.
coming back to another rabbit hole, we'll go to this one, and that is when we're talking about the internet, all the information out there, and we've said it, I don't know how many times, how many weeks, how many months that we've been doing this, and I know Jupiter 1111 says it, I know Divine Sunshine says it, I know April says it, I know I say it, and that is trust your intuition. Because like we were
Yep.
talking, you can be following readers, and these people can be wonderful readers. They can be great. They can, they not meaning any, that you are trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole on some of these. But on others, whenever anybody, and it's any situation, unless it's, and I really can't even think of an example of one that unless, but when they're trying to make something a law, a truth, it always is. I guess unless you're deep into science and you have those constants that you're using to test things off of, when people say it always is, step back and look at that. And, we said the other night, send us a question, send us an email, ask us, and we'll quickly be able to tell you whether it's, one of those things, or if we don't know, we'll send you to somebody that does. But with this journey, with this adventure, everybody's adventure is different. And, there are days that it's a rabbit hole, and other days it's an e-ticket ride at Disney. Now I've just shown my age, but so yeah, because Disney used to have, I'll go on the rabbit hole. Disney used to sell ticket books, and you would buy little ticket stands, and you would use different tickets for each ride. Well, the bigger the ride, like Space Mountain or something here in Florida, it would be an e-ticket ride. So that was the ride, and you only got like 2 e-tickets in your book. So that's the reference to the e-ticket. But
I thought you were talking about the new thing where you have to get an electronic ticket and then you could put it on your phone. So I did. I wasn't even close to.
yeah,
That.
it's funny because it is. It's coming back full circle, and you have to make
Oh,
reservations. So if anybody's planning on a spur of the moment trip to Florida, don't do it, because like Mickey's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween and all of that stuff's already sold out, and that's for Florida residents and stuff. So it's crazy. Just
yeah.
be careful out there.
They don't have too many slots, right? Because they got to
No.
limit it anyway for the number of people that's walking around on the grounds. Okay, I was about to say on the playground. The playground owns Walt Disney now. Walt Disney.
Yes, we do. That also means we own GM and a bunch of other ones, but And ABC
I
Studio style.
was about to say, we go on that too. Yes, you didn't know that.
But
Yeah, so,
double check the information, and go to a
okay.
reliable source. And if you don't have a reliable source, for those of you watching this later on, because I hear people saying, but I don't have a reliable source. Who can, I don't want to bother anybody. This is probably silly. Trust me, it's not silly. If it helps you, it's not silly. I'll answer a question. I don't care. We've all been there, and just one answer can mean the world to somebody. So ask the question.
Yeah, we all
If you
have
don't know if you can follow your intuition, if you've not gotten to that point where you trust it fully, and you still are kind of like, eh. But I'll tell you, most people won't tell you whether somebody is your divine masculine or divine feminine. I think that's kind of a personal thing that you have to know. And I don't read cards publicly. So, Divine Sunshine, you want to kind of answer on that one? On people like asking or saying that they can identify somebody's masculine?
No, I don't like to do that because I know in turn I wouldn't like anybody to do that too. And it depends. Even when I'm as a reader or an intuitive thing, most of the time the cards kind of will tell if I see them kind of mirroring each other. It's like, now they're saying they're disgusted. And what was it? It was some reading I was doing, and they didn't use the same word. It was like one was like tired, the other was exhausted. I said, okay, now that kind of shows me a little bit. It might be some twin stuff here, or somebody
Mm-hmm.
might see infatuated, and might say passion. I'm like, okay, it has to keep on hitting that pattern to let me know that say, okay, I think this might be a twin here. But for me to just come out there and they have asked me, can you tell me? I said, no, I don't. I'm not allowed to do that. You've got to kind of, see it for yourself if that is. It'll kind of come out. And then sometimes if it was very strongly, then I'll tell them, yeah, this is the twin. This is a twin here. Or because I can feel it, it keeps on being noted in the cards. But there are some other people that claim that they can't do that. I'm not going to,
these are all good
knock
questions that she has right here that I don't know.
what you say.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to get some questions come up, and I'm thinking about them. And
Okay, okay.
this is all rabbit
Ooh,
holes. It's all rabbit
yeah,
holes.
okay. I'm looking at it. So now I wouldn't say that. I do that. Today on my way to sign the new lease, I followed a car that was the same color, make, and model. Car's mine. What are the chances? Was it parallel timeline?
Or you're a trendsetter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's following it, so you be the trend right behind it.
Yeah.
Um, I like that idea. If you like that idea, run with it, and you could do parallel timelines of yourself. But guess what? It's happening in both those timelines. You're getting out, right? You're getting that freedom. You're getting that health. You're taking yourself back, and just seeing the signs of you're good now. You've always meant to be good, and this is doing well in your situation. So I don't know. I like that. I like the idea, just the imagery,
Mm-hmm.
because I sometimes do meditations where I'll cross parallel live experiences and different dimensional time reality type things where it's me, but it's not me exactly. And so it could split off into several different directions. But I like to think of them all going into that positive space and into receiving their abundance and into like enjoying their family, that kind of thing. And so it kind of gives me a more anchored reality, but also being able to go with the flow. Because anything can come up and switch, but it's like, no, 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 everything's good though. Like you don't get it. Like it's all supposed to be. It's written in the Akashic records from every direction in all dimensional time space realities that we are in this beautiful place stepping towards what we want to create.
Okay,
Oh,
some say that if he abuses you, it cannot be your DM. What do you say? So,
I
uh,
say use your intuition and always stay safe.
I used to say, Hell no, he ain't your DM. Hell, heavens no, he is not. Why would he do that, right? Trigger is trigger, right? Disrespecting your body in the temple and not honoring the process of you is very, very key. Now, with that being said, when you separate from this person, they have an opportunity to learn their lesson and become a better person. You have your opportunity to learn you and never ever take physical abuse again. Now, if you come back together in the future at a different time, that's something else. It could possibly be, but I don't want to say that yes, he is take abuse, because I would never ever ever advise anyone to take any type of abuse. And abuse comes in several different forms, from physical to
Thank
emotional to psychological to spiritual to all kinds of stuff. And you can be manipulated in all different types of ways. And if it's producing a negative state of being or karma, then you aren't fully living up to your potential, as I understand twin flame potential is to be. And now that is my definition, however.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think?
you. Yeah, I've heard that. Um, a lot of times they're saying that you're, and let's not just say DFs, because some of them can be brutal. And I've had, as a reader, I've heard some nasty stuff that the divine feminine can do too. And so you got to remember again that both of them are acting out of distortion. Hurt people do hurtful things. If they've been hurt or abused as a child or anywhere in relationships, some of them like to reenact those hurts, those
Mm-hmm.
pains, and those ways of living. So if I am a divine masculine and I have been abused sexually or whatever kind of way, and the way that I express myself out might be more of a verbal abuse, because that's the way I'm dealing with the pain that I have been dealt with, me being sexually abused as a child, then yes, that might come out from a divine masculine or a divine feminine's mouth or way of expressing themselves. Now, again, like April said, no, I do not condone you to sit there and take it and say, oh my God, I'm going to be here to heal you. And I understand your childhood wounds and what you've been through. And so that's why I'm here. No, I don't condone for you to do that. But I do say that, yes, it can happen. And for someone to say, and I think that's a lot of the problem that's going on within our twin flame community, is that misnomer that they cannot be distorted, and that distortion cannot come in the form of abuse. Because again, like I said, if they have experienced that as a child, or they've been hurt, and the way they express it coming out on the other end, it might come out in that form of abuse. But again, it's the way, like they say, it's not what they do, is how you respond is the best thing. What's your reaction? What do you do in turn with that? Do you sit there and you take it? No, hell no. You don't do that. But that's another thing about understanding, again, that they do come from that point of that does happen in some cases. Okie dokie. What she said, if someone's telling you that they can be, or hold on a second. Well, she said this real quick. Okay, if someone is telling you that they can't be or isn't yours, is time for you to use your own discernment. Yeah, that's true. Was there another question? Are we down at the bottom? Oh no, I
I
thought I
think we're
seen
down
something.
at the bottom.
Okay. Oh,
I
we're
would
down at
also
the uh-huh.
I would also like to say that if you want the abuse to stop, there tends to need to be a separation. If you honestly think that the person is your divine masculine, there needs to be a separation so that change can come in. Because if you're already in a cycle of abuse, it tends to kind of keep momentum. So something has to break that momentum so that things can evolve and change in the way that is needed. So space,
Right.
time, all of that good stuff to heal, open and honest, direct communication. Um, there's a lot of things that can be worked on in the meantime, but self care, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to have that separation, and um you have to let your mind, body, heal from that, and then see how they're doing with what they're doing to make changes for them. if if it's one of those things, well, baby, I won't ever do it again if you come home, just from the standpoint of working with people that have been in abusive situations, be very, very mindful of the promises before seeing the actions. You need to They need to have to walk the walk and talk the talk, kind of. And kind of, we all have to on this channel when we do this. I mean, we talk the talk, and then we walk the walk, and we kind of make sure that we all kind of follow suit with that. So you have to have those things in place when you're in an abusive situation, because a lot of times, what was it, Divine Sunshine? You did that whole thing on, it was like abuse and things like that, and it was that wonderful like webinar you did, and there were 7 types of abuse. It's not just what everybody thinks. It's not just physical, and it's not just emotional, and it's not just verbal. There's financial. I mean, there's all kinds. So really, be mindful and heal yourself, because you have to be whole before you can, even if that is your other person, that's your other half. You have to be whole and heal too. So it's not just them healing and then, oh, everything will be fine. No, you have to recover from that as well.
It's
right. That's
funny.
a good point. Some of them might be walking around and not know that's even a form of abuse that's happening, especially that financial. I remember when I did event for understanding breast cancer awareness. And when the young lady came up, because October is domestic violence month, and this lady just so happened to walk past, and we were doing the event, and the lady was like, "Oh, can I speak about domestic violence?" I was like, "Sure, come on up here to the mic, and you can express that." And when she went and told about the different types, and she was talking about how some of the people who are going through breast cancer and how their husbands use that also as financial. We understood mental, verbal abuse. They're talking to them. We got that. We knew that. But when they hit that financial, and we're like, what? Like, yeah, why they don't withhold them from not getting their medicines because they always saying you're a burden from them going through their treatments already for breast cancer awareness. I mean, she just laid it down to us. And I was like, what? This that was a form of abuse. She's like, you need that for you to get your medication, but your partner takes withholds money. So because they're the ones who has the hold to the financial stuff in the family or in the partnership, and they withhold that because they don't want to, go through the whole rigmarole and the journey of the breast cancer thing. And so I was very shocked. I didn't think of that as a way of abuse as well. And so, yeah, you don't know. That's another form of that too, as well. And so that's another thing that you might not even know that you might be in abusive, neither you with the DM or with the karmic. You're like, oh, you know what? That's a form of abuse that they're doing to me. If they're not giving me things that's old and like you got to ask them for everything. I've even heard, I think mom has me watch them drama shows where was talking about a lady was saying, I had to ask about buying and purchasing of underwear. Who does that? She said that. And that's when I knew I had to get out of that. I couldn't have anybody have that type of power over me. And so that's another form that when you sit there and say, it's got reduced down to this, oh no, I've got to do something about that. So um, that was very interesting about that. I'm not rabbit holding about abuse things, but it just say how to me how it just spirals out to so many different forms of abuse that's out there that people have found out. Bullying too, going on technology and social media. That's another abuse there. Usage of that too much and using it as power to over. What's another way they have that? It's not even well. It's not that, but it's a terminology. They got this now where somebody uses the post to kind of stab back at like exes. It's a terminology for it. I read that somewhere. That's a new form of
What is
doing
it?
it. Where they're using like Facebook, like they know that the other person is watching their Facebook profile, and so they're doing things kind of like to them and saying things intentionally. It's not gaslighting, but it's a form of abuse, like a mental abuse of them too. It's another form they do that on social media. I forgot what the name of the terminology was. And I was like, what? I mean, Jesus Christ, how many ways can you really be nasty and abusive to somebody? You using social media as a tool?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so, as we hit, because like your mom was saying, there's a bottom of the rabbit hole, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
eventually get to the den, right? That's what
Mm-hmm.
they call the inside the rabbit. It's the den. So once you hit that and you've gotten all those pieces, like as a culture, I feel like we've hit the bottom. We've hit the den, and we're about to really see what's how dark things have been in terms of our negative spiral of power, right? Because there's a misfiring or an imbalance of power, and we aren't fully supporting all of the sections of our humanity as we really get to. Like, why are on an earth so ripe and so rich with material and abundance, why do we still have slums? Why do we still have areas where people are nutritionally, it's like a nutritional poverty, right? All they can get is access to over processed foods or canned things that don't have much life and stuff in them. Our earth is so abundant. We have the ability for everyone to have fresh water, and it's just a matter of getting out of the, oh, our business needs to make $1 million. What do you sell? We sell pieces of paper that don't do anything or something. I hate that was a really bad example. I'm sure there's got to be seedless fruits. I know, right? Although sometimes I do like me a good old piece of seedless watermelon. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you just want to get at it. I think about it. A seedless cherry might be kind of nice.
They're called maraschino, and you can buy them in a jar.
Yeah.
Those have so much sugar. But I would
And
like. I don't have to worry giving. I wouldn't have to worry about giving a cherry to my son with the seed in it.
Well, you can get the cedar, the cherry. Like I have an antique one, the pitter,
Yeah, I
and then you
can't.
just put it on,
I can. It's
and then
seedless.
he has a seedless cherry,
Seedless
and you
cherry.
can eat off
I used to
off
rub on the walls.
on the carpet and the floors, and
I'm so glad I have a brown carpet. Anyway, that's a different rabbit hole. The brown carpet. And because that's what helped me with the coffee pot episode. Like, oh yeah, what if I'm holding up the coffee pot to a brown carpet? Can I even see? Have you scraped the bottom of your coffee pot?
Sherry says here that she has been gaslighted, and
My ex-husband gaslighted me. Oh, that's on
yeah,
blast. That's on blast, son. You see this? Everybody,
yeah.
yep,
If
yeah.
you do not understand what that is,
Congratulations.
yeah, congratulations. And it is when everything is spun in a different, I mean, in a different perspective. It's turned around on you. They didn't say something, they didn't do something, they didn't, whatever, it was your fault. It was all switched around, and it's a tactic to make you feel like you are crazy. Now, with that being said, that's how it's used when it's used purposefully. There are actually people, when they are in their distorted state, that do that, and it is a self preservation kind of, and they do it because it's that bottom line of hurt people. And if they have learned by saying, I didn't do that, you didn't see me, and they get louder and they get louder, and you're, especially if you're an empath or something like that. And then you start thinking, well, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I didn't see it. Well, maybe I have done this. Um, so gaslighting is, it's not appropriate either way, and it should not be allowed. Um, and so I can say to you, Sherry, the best way to deal with that, and that they say, through different resources and stuff, it's been found, you just don't say anything, because you don't give them the fuel to turn it around on you. Oh, I saw you looking at that guy in the grocery store. I looked at a million people in the grocery store. I was making sure their masks on and were 6 feet apart, and go in the right direction down the aisle at the grocery store. And you just, okay, or you change the subject. So yeah, if you've never had that, it is a hard thing to deal with. And once you're away from it, it takes some time to trust again when somebody says something. So just, Sherry, take your time with that. If you've had that happen, make sure you're finding the right sources to get the help to get out of that mindset.
Well, she's
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
lot to do with healing. She's going to have a lot of.
Hmm. Well, even Benita says, makes you feel like you're freaking losing your mind. Yes, it does.
Does. It does. Because you're like, I know I seen, I know what you said, and then you turn around and you're not even acknowledging it. But like you said, hints in the word gaslight. And in order for them to be able to do that, like you said, you're giving them fuel for fire, which is like you said, not to say anything, not the gas. Gas, you need fuel. So I can't give you any fuel back to you by reacting to it. It's like, okay, yeah, and change the subject. And even when you do that, I've experienced that. They'll keep on. Let's circle back. Okay, yeah, we were talking about that, and then I start talking about ice cream, and now let's circle right back to what I just said about where I was gaslighting you. That again, so you have to use that same tactic again, or step out, or excuse me, I got to go to the washroom, or something like that, because they will keep continuing to attack you even after that. Sometimes some of them get it, some of them don't. So no,
And
these
sometimes it's people with substance abuse problems too,
right.
because when they're in under the influence, and remember, substance abuse can be legal, as well. People have their bodies react to everything differently, and so when they're under the influence of whatever the influence is, it can change it around. And then when they're not, they don't do that. So be real mindful when you bring it up, to speak to them about it, and when not to. And sometimes they'll just out and out flat deny it, and then you know that, okay, this is not a substance situation. This is an all the time situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, CP in Texas. Yeah, you made
There
it.
she is.
There she goes. There she is. All righty then. Miss April, do you have a meditation for us tonight?
Um. Wow, 40 years. See, there's a lot of.
Ooh,
That's that's deep.
yeah, but bring that one up before we do any
Yeah, I
meditation or
only did
anything.
that. I only stayed married for 7 years. So you did way.
Um,
You went all
let's
extra.
see. CP.
It was way too extra on that one. But I'm glad you're out. I'm glad you're free.
Oh, okay, I see. That's all I ever seen. It was delayed. Why is my thing delayed on these comments? What is
They
this?
I'm not
have been the
sure, but I
last
know
few
the timing
weeks.
is like a little bit afterwards because I
Yeah,
went
Mhm.
because that's why you could hear you. Remember when I turned it on and
you
I didn't
said
hit
it.
it right away? It
Yeah,
kicked in
okay.
like 2 seconds later. So I think
Oh,
there's just some weird kind of lag going on.
yeah, I see. I see. Okay, because I'm like, I didn't mean seem like I didn't see nothing. And like, okay, she's on her
Well,
own thing.
in terms of like just letting all of that be a lesson to listen to yourself, a lesson to hear your needs because you knew early on, odds are pretty good, you told yourself early on that you needed to be free from this situation, but you kept on to it for XYZ reasons, and they're usually external, either trying to people please or um, finding a justification to repeat certain emotions. There's several layers, right? At least there were several layers for me, and you have your own. Everybody has their own individual process, but we get to do things faster. And so I took the time to really listen to myself and what I needed before I jumped in. And do I have any regrets about that? No, because now wouldn't be now, and I wouldn't be feeling this level of um, centeredness and control and power. And remember, the future is ours. I want to get a shirt that says maybe the now is ours too, right? The future is ours. World tour. The now
Yeah.
is ours. World tour.
Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes, that was me. I kept talking myself to stay for good reasons. Yeah.
And that's the obligation. We feel that there's a reason a lot of us when we're empaths, we want to help, we want to make them better, we want to make them well because we see their potential. Now, with
Mm,
that being said, yes, remember we see them on a 5D when we're talking about our DMs or our DFs. We see them on the 5D and then we see the distorted self on the 3D. Remember, there's a difference between seeing their potential and seeing
Present state.
their presence. Yeah, thank you, that was the word I was looking for, the difference. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to fix somebody, stop, and whatever you're trying to fix in them, fix in you.
Have fun, Jupiter 1111. I love that. Showing your daughter how to be dated, showing her how to accept and what kind of love and how she must be treated and all that.
Oh, you guys have fun.
Do it. So I'm trying to think of how to do that for my son. How to
I'm sure it will be very exciting. It'll be much better than lunch.
yeah, yes, 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 yeah. I used to like that. I used to like that when we had mom and I always did, but when dad and I we had like we would go out. I liked that daddy and daughter time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I love
awesome.
having that because I'm like, thanks for that CP. CP in Texas. You just told me to have fun. Okay. I accept you.
Well, don't encourage CP in Texas. Come on now.
No, have fun. I do want funds. I do want money. I want ample monies. I said
Yeah,
the heck out of me, please.
There's no D. It's just fun.
Yeah.
everybody have fun.
Yes, there.
Everybody have fun. Just make it rain. Just make it rain.
Well, we might as well. I mean, seeing we now own Disney, and
We got to have it if we're gonna do that. Oh wow, what is this? I can't. Let me put that. That look like that's gold.
That looks
What?
good. Yeah.
I kept setting boundaries and moving them towards him. You cannot fix others, no matter how much you love them.
It's true.
Very good point.
yes,
Yeah. You can't. You can't. You can always give them that.
and I think we have to be extremely strong with our divine partner because they are us and we are them, and they are in us and we are in them, and so you have to be able to set the boundaries to yourself, and then your boundaries will stick with them. If you don't have boundaries for yourself, then of course you're going to move the boundaries. And um, I can go on and say with the statement from Benita, she has learned to set those boundaries, and so those boundaries are very firm, and they are where they need to be. But it is a learning process, and you have to learn. It can be something as simple as I don't let people wear their shoes on my new carpet, but for my DM, he can wear his shoes in my house. It's little things like that. You have to set those little boundaries. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to be mindful.
Yeah, we have a tendency when it comes to our divine counterparts that they have a nice sliding scale. Others they will come along and do what they do. We be like, hell no. Matter of fact, let me show you the door. And
Mm-hmm.
and when it hits you on your way out, that's gonna be all right. With them, it's like, oh my God, just hold on a second. I'm about to close the door. Are you okay? All right, now and so you give them an
Sure,
extra.
I'll give you my last dollar, even though I needed to feed myself. Sure.
Yourself.
here this time, even though I'm running late and I'm exhausted. Sure, I'll drive out. Like just these little things that add up to a whole lot of self
Yeah,
Mhm.
sabotage.
yeah. Been there. We all been there. Like, where the damn thing? That don't make no sense. Sis. That don't smell right.
Mhm.
It smell like I'm being stupid. Nothing. But anyway.
It smells like my boundaries have caught on fire because they're no longer there.
Boundaries?
Boundaries? What are boundaries?
What is
Barricades? I don't remember those either. I don't know.
Except for the one you put around your heart. Yeah,
Yeah,
time.
that's what happens. If you know what, that's an excellent point, April. That's an amazing point. If you don't put boundaries up for yourself, you might wind up putting up barricades around your heart.
There we
Yep.
go. Bumper sticker.
There we go. Add it to our shirt for the circle. But
There
yeah,
you
you've got to have those boundaries where you can move and be yourself, or you're not going to let any love in. So be mindful of those, and be conscious with your boundaries that you're setting for yourself. So when the time comes that your divine partner comes in, you're able to comfortably set those boundaries and not feel like you are being a horrible person.
right.
Now, I think there are times too that there are situations where there can be a compromise in a boundary. Say I always sleep on the right side of the bed. That's where I always sleep in that, and I know many DMs and stuff that are like, well, I want to sleep closest to the door. I just feel better. Like I feel like, that's my masculine. I want to protect you kind of thing. Then you can be, there's some boundaries. You don't have to be, ridiculous about certain ones, but other ones you need to hold firm.
Right. You're right. That is true. And that's why I was, as you were talking, I was like, yeah, I can hear somebody. I'm time jumping. Like, watch it with the boundaries. Let's not get overly ridiculous on how you putting the boundaries up. You got to put them up there, healthy boundaries, but not just like ridiculous one, because some of those boundaries you putting up there due to what you've learned from hurtful relationships, and you're using them as a reference guide to create those
Hmm.
now. I would say kind of watch it, because I can see some of you all like, well, yeah, because the last guy that did it, so this time it ain't gonna happen this time, because this I'm gonna put it. They're gonna have to do X, Y, and Z this time, because these are my boundaries now. So watch, what are you basing upon your boundaries from, and what you're using as a reference guide too, in order to create those boundaries. Are they just really like, I feel it's healthy, I feel good when I do this, or is it because of when John was here, this is what I did, so he stepped all over, and this time I'm gonna do something different. So that's something also to
Hmm.
take thing to take
And
away.
with that being said, another thing talking about the boundaries and setting them with yourself is you also have to open yourself up to a different person, a different situation. The situation I'm in now, not so swell, but when my DM comes in, I have to remember when he would walk into my office and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Or, "Oh, are you still on a call?" Or something like that. It's not because he's being inquisitive. It's not the Spanish Inquisition. He's not trying to figure out what I'm doing. It's just a general interest, general concern. Hey, what are you doing? And so I have to make sure that I am in the right place to not take that as I'm being questioned, or I'm being attacked, or I'm being watched.
Mm-hmm.
So, bringing
Get that.
that up about the past relationships, you've got to keep that in mind for yourself, that this is a different person. This is, and you're with this person on a higher level. And so you have to keep that in mind. Now, if it becomes one of those, well, who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? Then you need to step back and say, all right, chill out, boy. This is not going to work.
Well, that and if you become that way, right?
Right. Right. And
Just
that is a wonderful thing because we can switch that over.
Mm-hmm.
jealousies, insecurities, all this stuff that comes out when we start dealing with matters of the heart are often ways that we use for defense, or we used for defense in the past. And, you know, I like to think of it as we have sunglasses on, and these sunglasses are colored by our experiences. Now, we can either take off the sunglasses and see them as they are and realize we have the sunglasses in general, or we go through blindly pretending we don't have sunglasses on. Someone could say, "You look nice today," right? And genuinely mean you look nice today. How do you hear that? Oh, they're hitting on me, or oh, they're just being sarcastic, they're just trying to make me feel bad, or like you can go to all these different places, but the reality of the situation, glasses off, that person just gave you a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot assume their background, especially when they're a stranger on the street. You cannot assume their background based on your experience, your background, or what you used to do, or XYZ. Right? We're in a state of becoming new. We're in a state of becoming this next level. Right? So F the dumb stuff, let it go, and move into the now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what our meditation is going to be about today. So, whew, everybody, just feel yourself. Do, do, touch my body. Just kidding. Maybe not, depending on where you are, because it's Freaky Friday. And
Freaky.
take a deep breath. Get present. Get real with me. Get real in your spot. Get real in your space. Just spread your arms and legs out if you can, if you have the ability. Thank goodness. If you don't, that's okay. We'll slowly get you in a wider and wider range of movement. Ah, feel the bubble of protection or the egg of protection around you. Let the air get thick, thick like water, thick like milk, thick like cream. Let that energy rise. Every time my energy rises, my baby's been making up spring. Okay, so you rise that energy and allow the space to fill with that vibration. Allow the power to raise through your center. And give me a second. I'm just going to grab my son. Continue to raise the vibe. Okay. So now that you feel the space around you, I want to let your little golden egg fill up with light, fill up with love, fill up with creation. And this is the alchemy. This is where you can create. Allow your egg to just bubble over with golden light. Safe, protected little orb here. You're going to allow that energy to fill in. And all of a sudden, you realize that your skin isn't as tight as it used to be. Your life is more than just a suit. Feel it. You can feel your spirit wearing this suit, wearing this layer of protection, this armor. And what you're going to do is you're just going to allow it to become loose, like the skin of a snake. And you're going to allow that golden liquid to lift off all that dead decaying material. Let it pour from deep within anything that no longer serves, and just let it rise to the top layer of you, kind of like scum on soup or scum on beans. And as it rises, this layer of you just starts to gently lift off of your body. It gently lifts and it raises and it starts to slough off, and it just feels, and you feel like you can walk right out of it. So I want everyone to kind of just let spirit, let God just kind of lead them back a little bit, and you can start to see the skin molting right off of your skin, like a layer of you that no longer serves. And as you peel it away from you, just push with your hand, just let it push out away from you. And it comes off and you can see it, and it's you that's at the seed of vision, sadder, angry, help us just, it's not you. Oh, it's got all these anger and resentment. Oh, but thankfully, that's not you. It's just wisdom energy. It's just like that. And I want you to gather it and start to crinkle it up. Just smush this little ball of this externally. You just crinkle it up, push it. Oh, take a look. Oh, it's weird. It's jelly. It's a melting piece of food. Now I want you to push it kind of like you're pushing it outside of your aura. It's kind of like a big basketball, and you're taking it and you're throwing it outside the aura, and right outside of your protecting bubble, your guardian angels or your ancestors they come and you take it and you take it away and you go and you bury it deep in space and let it turn into some beautiful star system or something somewhere else. And here you are. Here you are. And all that nothing is green. Now take a deep breath, kind of move your body. See where the space is. See what space you created. Now let's fill that up. Let's fill all that enough that left you up, left some space. Let's fill that up with love and creation and light and joy. Pick whatever words you feel. Pick whatever flow feels good to you and allow it to come in. Allow it to fill up this space. Allow that abundance to come in. Their self-worth, that knowing that you are worth time and money and space and the funds and the love. Yes, this is you. This is the real you. The abundant, full, glorious you. Take a breath, breathe that beauty into you and relax. Come back into now. Go ahead and tap your feet. Sure. You can go through that energy later then if you want. But there you go. We are the new. We are the now. We are the us. Were you able to hear that? Was that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay, bye, CPN. She says she going grocery shopping. Go
Uh,
get me a and give me a snow cone too while you're at it.
I know. It's ice cream time as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
give me a snow cone while you're at it. While you're at the store. Uh-uh. Okay. So as we are winding down, is there any final thoughts or anything else that you would like to say about the rabbit hole or anything else that we've talked about? Because we talked about a very good variety of subjects tonight. I have to give you that. So is there anything else that you would like to put a pin or a footnote to it?
I think the most important thing is you've got to remember um, to love yourself
Mm-hmm.
through all of this, no matter what stage, wave, wherever. If you know your DM, if you don't, if you know any of that, whatever you're going through it all, love yourself. Don't depend on another's opinion or outlook to deter you from your goal.
Even
Yeah.
us. Whatever.
Yes, even us.
No
I,
pedestals allowed. No pedestals allowed.
Mm-mm.
Okay?
Yep, yeah, you're right. I said that several times, even with me, because you don't never know when you get a reader, and there might be a wrong day, and you might catch them on them days like, you know what, ain't things going right for me, and I'm gonna make darn sure it ain't going right for you. So you don't never know what day you might catch a person on that. We're all humans, and again, spiritual, whatever the saying is, having a spiritual experience, spiritual beings having a human experience as well. So you have to, again, get the advice from people, but then also check in with your heart to see what actually resonates and what's actually divine truth for you as well. And that's kind of on my trigger. No, not, the next one is about your, oh Lord, things survival guide about check your sources as well. And so we talked about that too. Make sure the source that you're getting it from and the information really aligns with what's going on with you. April, did you have anything?
Oh, I was raising my hand because I was like, preach, yes, oh yeah, hallelujah, I agree.
Okie dokie. All right then.
Oh, hey, we've got Lay every day says, thank you, ladies. I will be booking you all as soon as possible. We look forward to that.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
hit on into that and talk about our program there, Kathy D, since that's a nice segue.
Um,
What offering? Let me go into my banners. Let's go. Okay, let's put that down there so they know where to go. All right, hit it, Kathy.
you get an hour session with each one of us. And as you can tell, if you've been on this long enough, that we all have kind of special areas that we work on, but we work together. We talk, we'll say, how is this, how is that, and and we'll say, I know myself, when I'm with somebody in a session, especially if I'm the last one, I'll say, now what did April tell you, what did Divine Sunshine tell you, and we kind of go through it, because it's a whole body experience. It's body, mind, and soul. And for the price we're offering, which is about to go up, so get your playground experience now,
Right.
because the price is about to go up. You can't get that anywhere else, to get 3 professionals, because if you go on our websites, you'll see what you're getting is at a very discounted price, what a
Ridiculous.
normal hour would be with
Offensively.
just one of us, and you're actually getting the 3 of us.
Right.
It is
Right.
So yeah.
offensively cheap.
It
We're
is.
Yeah,
so
I don't know where the moon was when we all agreed on that price,
I
but
know. I was
it
like, I
works.
don't know. I don't know.
A
I
deep,
don't
deep,
remember that.
like very white voice discount is deep. Deep.
Yes, it is. It's very deep.
And we have all
Um,
very 3 different styles, but we
mhm.
Right.
flow really, really well together. And
Yes.
we will be hosting a retreat with maybe a year, 2 years. We're gonna start doing
In a
some.
year, we're calling it now. We're
Right.
claiming it next summer.
Whew,
Yes,
Look at
now. Next
serious.
summer. We're going to
Um,
be in Hawaii, and you all are going to be with us.
right.
well, astrologically, things look a little bit better in 22 versus 21, but we'll see what happens.
We start planning. We'll do a virtual one and then we'll
Because
move
I got
on
some
to.
heavy core stuff, and it's my goal, because my company is all inclusive, so it's a community, it's a conscious community building.
Mm-hmm.
So as twin flames come together, they're coming together. Like Bonita, we had the episode with Bonita talking about the new family template. We're all we're all learning to flow with and dancing with the new family templates, the divine feminine selves, the mission work. And true mission is really just being yourself, which is
And
again
love.
back those layers, learning healthy communication stylings, numerology, astrology, all the good things, all the things that will help you understand you and your relationship and with your other and your children, and all that great stuff is here for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
And all of this in a lovely package. We don't provide a bow, but here we are. So come play with us on the playground.
we
Um,
should we should
we got
force,
people saying, "I'll be there. I'll be there."
we should force Kathy D to do the twerking section of the exercise. A personal challenge. Look at that. Did you see her inner child? She had both come out. She had the divine masculine come out, look excited. The inner child was just like, oh no, she didn't just call my name for this. And then she just went, she just picked it. Woo.
Oh, now it's nothing. I am on the belly dance, and I'm gonna learn to clap my butt cheeks just to show you up. So there.
That's a
Uh-huh.
challenge. Challenge served.
I've only done it by accident, never on purpose.
Well, see, I'll be able to do it on command.
Oh,
She got it. She got it. Here we go.
I will be my own round of applause.
all
but now you got to remember,
Oh, template.
my rhythm might be a little bit off. So, I could be like, kind of.
Yeah, I see that. Wait a second, that's the wrong one. It jumped up because somebody posted something after that. Okay. How do you define template? Okay.
Well, which one? What do
I know there's layers of templates. Okay, so you have your physical body, you have your emotional body, your spirit body, you have your programming, your mental programming, you have there's you have
well,
your
there's a 5D
ancestral.
template.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. 3D, 5D,
Right.
70, 90. Once you get
Yeah.
90, it's real hazy, real fuzzy.
Well, you're kind of in the angel realm then, and it really doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. Can you define which template you want us to answer about? Let's ask a question with the question. Let's answer a question with the question.
I love the fact that Candace is like, we'll be there. Like, she's ready to go. See, that's my girl. She's going.
Yeah,
She's going to pack her bags, and she's ready to go. Just tell us when.
with
I'm
that.
not gonna pack them too early because I'm pretty sure Candace just dropped like 3 dress sizes. Let it go.
Sherry D. Oh, you said thank you. Oh, okay. She
Okay,
said
so we
that's
must have answered it. Okay.
yeah, she said we answered that. All right then. Good job there. Good answer. Good answer. Like Family Feud. Good answer.
I would love the esoteric Family Feud.
We've even said we would just be dangerous on the Family Feud.
Yeah, that's what they did say that. Well,
We'd be driving Steve Harvey crazy because we'd say, "Can we consult source for a moment, please?"
like, she said you mentioned template, and I'm not clear if that is something you acquire or have.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was just about you took the words right out. Good answer. Good answer. Next.
Survey says,
Hey.
Circle. It's the square.
Sherry, it is something that you have, and then you acquire knowledge about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so don't stress over it. It comes when it's time for you to know.
I refer to it as the great remembering. Because there's a level that happens when we enter this earth that we
Yeah.
kind of forget everything. And so we wake back up into ourselves slowly, sometimes quickly. Children have it faster, but they're convinced otherwise by us.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things that you thought you could do that were like superpowerish stuff, like I could breathe underwater, I could do all kinds of cool stuff when I was a kid, but then was told that I couldn't. So then I thought I couldn't. But you can reawaken these gifts and abilities. See, we're all kind of superhuman. We're beyond this physical realm, but they want, and I say they because I'm looking at societal programming.
Mm-hmm.
And to a certain extent, religious programming. Religion can also be used as a tool, and it's a great foundation, but it can be used to control and create tension and or fear when it really is just supposed to lead us to God or whatever our version of God in the universe is. So I think we keep going down rabbit holes. Is what happens.
We
I
do.
love rabbit holes. You guys don't understand. Squirrel, but squirrels don't go rabbit. Rabbit.
Squirrel and the rabbit are cousins. They belong both to the rodent family.
Oh, rats.
Just so that you know. That's what they.
Year of the rat. It's the year of the rat. You know how they are. Clever, clever.
Clever, clever. Yep, yep, yep. I think we're the. Oh, yes, right. I'm in the rat. I'm the year of the rat. My sign is the years in that. The rat
Oh.
for that one. All righty, people. And you're welcome. So very welcome.
Yes.
All right. We're wrapping up because it's at 1:24 exactly. And that part, so we ran a little over, but that's all right. So again, when you are Here, okay, pineapple. Let's start with you. All right, then. If you want some more Jedi mind tricks or really trying to understand that templating and how you're utilizing it in your life, and maybe you might be using it in the wrong way or the manners that is not working for you, please check out our own Jedi mind trickster from pineapplefishlifecoaching.com, Kathy D, which he can be able to get you right by giving you those daily keys of mentally changing and charging your mind. All right,
And
then.
don't forget
Yeah,
the hypnotherapy is also
hypno.
now being offered. So
Like, you got no special? You ain't got no special. Just the regular
not yet.
thing.
I'm still fighting with the website. So we will have a major special and a celebration when the website decides to behave itself.
Ba-dum-bum. There you go. Yes. And we got our own Hawaiian queen here, our own Hawaiian goddess here that's able to help you with your meditations, help you understand about your body, where you're housing the herds and past lives and all that good stuff that you need to come check out. Made for this goldenlife.com, our own April Williams, which is from Golden Lifestyles Unlimited. Make sure that you check out, and maybe you can help her on the pre-planning committee to getting this retreat together.
And
As
I
well.
want horseback riding, and I want ices. They call them shave ice here. You want to shave ice?
Right. Say what? Yes, it's different there. They don't call it no snow cones over there. They call it shave ice over there as well. And so again, if you want to hit
Oh,
me
I'm
up,
doing a sale. I'm
your
doing it.
sale.
I'm doing a sale right now. You can, even if you can't put your finger on it, I'll tell you what. What is gonna happen?
Good
It's, what was it? I texted it to you guys. It's so deep up in our messages. Hold on.
answer.
There's a
Okay.
discount code that I'm offering specifically for us.
It's,
Rebirth 2020, where
right.
I'm giving you 20% off services or products from Mawa. There you go. That's it. Rebirth 2020 with a 20% discount, but not on the sale price. I think I'll end the Lionsgate sale stuff. I think I'll end it maybe August 24th or something. Sometime at the end of this month, I'll close the Lionsgate sale.
Okay, I don't know what the hell that was about right there, but she's gone. She's a blocky.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm gone?
Yeah, nothing. Nothing. I
Oh,
don't know.
that nonsense. I was like, what is this? This doesn't make sense. I couldn't even read it. It was weird. Thank you,
It's talking
Spirit. Thank you,
about.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Missing me with some bull. Down the
Right.
rabbit.
Yeah, they down the rabbit hole and they're gone. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so I don't know what that was about. That's inappropriate anyway. And so okay, all right then. So if you want any things from what's the matter? You happen. Oh, come around, come on. You got it? Okay. All right then. If you want any services for me of reading cards, past lives things, or also trying to see what else am I doing right
Pictures
now.
of your cute puppy.
Yeah, and my puppy, yeah, because she looked like she was limping. I was concerned about that. Any of those things as well. Make sure that you come hit me up at divineunisouls11.co as well. And also the playground experience. Like I said, it's unlimited time. We will be sealing and shutting that down for the $92 for an hour for each one of us. And those prices will be going up soon. Okay. All right, then. As always, get us out of here, Kathy D. You all right?
No, she's acting like she's limping. She was like having trouble getting up the steps. That's why I was like looking like that. But
Yeah.
make sure you pick up your buckets, your pails, empty the sand out of your shoes and all other places the sand has accumulated. Throw away your virtual juice boxes, and we'll see you next time. Wishing you the best life ever. See you real soon.
Stay blessed, stay golden, and you were made for this golden life.
Yes! Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. All right, love you. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.